Okay, welcome. Episode 10. Time flies when you're having fun. That's the full English. A lot to get through this week. You know, the English clubs, the British clubs have been in action in the Champions League. Been lots of movements in the, obviously, managerial picture. And again, it's insane, isn't it? How no matter how big someone, the news of Ange lasting 30 odd days, but everyone at Forest just moved on. Dicey wins there last night to beat Porto in the Conference League, Europa League. And, that's it. The king is dead. Long live the king.
Well, that's the old saying, isn't it? Yesterday's newspapers wraps tomorrow's fish and chips.
Yeah, as I say, a lot to get into. Liverpool, with a step in the right direction, managed to avoid a record equaling 50 feet on the spin.
Is that what it'd been? Yeah. Oh, I didn't know that.
But thankfully, the opposition played into your hands. You know, Slot's been out there saying, it was better for us because the opposition decided to pass it. So that meant we could get our press on. So whatever you do when you play Liverpool, make sure you pass it so they can win. Right? What you don't want to do is kick it long and make it physical like a long ball team like Man United do, because that means you might win. So do your best you can, because they got to win.
Do you know what? You're being sarcastic, but you're right.
Well, that's what Arnie said. He said that the bald Messiah has spoken. That's what he said. That's what you need to do. I mean, I watched the game Wednesday. Honestly, if you can, get up to Newcastle, see if that receipt's still valid. Get shit sack. Like, they've sold you. I don't know whether you've seen the stories doing the rounds this week, and we'll get to it when we get to the Liverpool segment, but there's a lot of noises coming out of Newcastle. Qualified, unqualified, I don't know. But sources on the street are saying Newcastle knew he had a huge issue with his pelvis, the muscles in and around the attachment to that. They knew that would mean he wouldn't be able to play a full capacity, for the full season. And as he got into the later stage of his career, that would become even more and more of a problem due to this imbalance in his pelvis.
Is that why they had to keep him so hardly and just done the best?
No, I don't know whether they've just done what a great salesperson would do, which is obviously pretend that you definitely don't want to sell something so that you get the maximum price.
Talking
and obviously
shit.
you spent 130 mil and you've actually bought, the car you've bought is that not at the level. Well, he's got pulled off at half-time Wednesday night.
Listen,
and he's played better when he was off the pitch. FE10 certainly looks like he's a better player at this moment in time. If you were landing from Mars here, which a lot of yous are, when it comes to being a Liverpool supporter, you should be rightly looking at that, and that's why they've taken to Ekatike quicker than they have Isaac, is because the moment you land, you go, oh my God, this is a different level of player to this fella.
The reason why we're taking to Ekatike is because obviously Isaac wasn't fit, and he's shit the bed in the summer to try and get his move and done all that. But Ekatike's hit the ground running, mainly because the comparisons with Darwin Núñez, like fucking night and day. He's like, we've got a player here who can actually run with the ball at his feet, who can link up play, who can take people on, who can hold up play, who can do everything what Darwin Núñez couldn't do. And it's like, wow, breath of fresh air. We haven't seen that from Isaac yet, because as I said last week, his work rate off the ball is like non-existent. And I mean, whether he was carrying an injury
if you go and watch Messi live, you go and watch... I remember being struck by Messi live.
He's not Messi though.
I know, but you've paid Messi money for him.
Salah's work rate off the ball is crap. But when he scores goals and getting assists, it's great.
If you could go back now, right?
You're paying Messi money to Salah and you're paying Messi money for Isaac.
If you could go back now, would you sign him or not?
I said last summer I was 50-50 on him. It would be great if we signed him, not overly. I remember Jamie Carragher saying the same thing. Listen, I'm not all in on Isaac. I mean, it's great if we sign him. Not overly bothered if we don't.
He never asked you that.
Answer the question I've just asked.
If I could go back right now, I'd still sign him.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd still sign him, because we haven't signed him for 2 months. We signed him for 5 years.
I don't mind it.
So I'd still sign him.
He's a prolific striker at the end of the day.
Just to play devil's advocate here, as you know, completely impartial, completely unbiased opinion here.
As we know.
All right, just to play, as I say, the devil's advocate here. A great indicator of future performance is past performance. So we have to say that, listen, based on what he's done in the Premier League, you have to hope he comes good. But also, based on his physical record, striking position being a massive position for confidence. Like, you've almost, you've got a little bit of wiggle room when you first come in as a striker. But as we've seen from countless big striker acquisitions over the past, if at some point you do not start scoring goals, the price tag and the burden of being the number 9 and carrying the weight of a big institution on your back, because you've got to score 25 goals a season to justify the outlay. Yeah. Performance, people will give you the, you might be shite, but they go, do you know what? Puts a ball in the onion.
Salah.
I haven't seen him all day. Scored 2. He's got that trick. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
And
you're right. Yeah.
People will argue flat sack bullies, whatever you want to call it. It's not about him being the complete player here. It's about him becoming that 25 to 30 goals a season bagsman, whatever they want to call it, netter, just a fucking goal machine that Liverpool are looking at for the spearhead of their attack. At this moment in time, I think fucking about, and I was messing around to say, but I do believe in the football gods, and I believe there's a proper way to do things. Gods, whatever your version of God is, you know what I mean? But I'm saying that there's a proper way to do things, and I just think if that gets out of kilter, sometimes to get that great frequency back, I think there's just bad energy, bad frequency. And I think Alexander Isak is a fucking massive victim of whatever it took for him to get himself out of Newcastle. Now, as I say to you, I'll dig out a couple of the quotes because I think it's important to do that at the minute. But lots of people are saying that they think Isak has been, as I say, maybe not the best physical specimen. They've got an enormous amount of money for him. And when you're in Newcastle's position now, Walter Mayday, whatever Carline's rumour niggas said about him,
he's putting the ball.
He's fucking hit the ground running because he's the little flick he scores at Brighton. He's away and running, and he does look a little bit unorthodox. I'm not saying he's the a top player and is going to be as good as Isak. I've got so many mad photos in my phone.
Well, Isak. We know Isak was only fit and available for 75% of his time at Newcastle. So we knew that. We sat here and said that when we were talking about Isak last summer coming to Liverpool. That's the issue with Isak. And then we also sat here and said the biggest part of Liverpool's transfer summer was missing out on Gay. And we said it was bigger than signing Isak. And it looks like it's turned out to be right.
Yeah, it's as I say, it's a Liverpool team that I seen Curtis Jones's interview after the game, and it certainly seemed like he was putting his what would you say, front foot forward. He was saying, look, I'll fucking take this team on here. I'll give me the ball. I want to play. Almost as if to say, look, this McAllister Gravenberch debate, and who works with who, and is Vert's going to play in the 10, and he's almost putting his and saying, hey, what about me? This is. And I thought he did play well in the game.
He broke the record, didn't he, for
passes?
Most passes ever by a Liverpool player in the Champions League, wasn't it?
And it was the 3rd highest this season or something as well.
With the greatest respect, though, lads, we have to take into fucking account the quality of opposition and the way they played. It wasn't maybe the examination you're going to get at Brentford.
No, it's definitely not.
At the weekend.
Frankfurt played into our hands with the tactics they laid out, and they played into our hands massively. I mean, you give us the ball, let us make a mistake, try and play in a counter. Long ball up and see any flick ons because our midfield, hold midfield. Like the first half, I thought Slot got his tactics wrong first half. I thought he got that. I mean, it was basically
I'm starting to see cracks in Slot I've never seen last year.
It was what cracks?
Like, just the way he's communicating, just like some of the stuff, and tactically. I think
tactically is a bit.
Don't forget, for a manager, when you spend that type of money, it's a new wave of pressure. Last year he hadn't spent anything other than the Chiesa outlay, which was relatively small fry for Liverpool.
Do you think that was almost like if he did do bad, it's like, well, I haven't spent any money. I couldn't spend any money.
No, I think last season we tried to spend money. We were 90% down the line with Zubimendi, weren't we? So we did try and spend money. It wasn't a case of we didn't have any money to spend. It was like, again, the previous season with like Bellingham, we missed him again. We did not like we didn't have any money to spend. We just sort of banked all the money.
So the expectations are different now this season, where we have to win, whereas last season it was.
Yeah, I think it's a bit of both. I think the expectation is we have to do something because we spent a lot of money.
Let's be honest, what you have done. Tell the truth what you have done. Tell the truth what you have done.
We're not saying that.
You haven't, as a football club, you have had a midlife crisis. All right, what happened was, do you want to explain to us what happened here?
Yeah.
So you're quite a big name on the block, aren't you? You're having yourselves as like the cock of Europe. You're the fucking big live bird strutting down, fucking. Yeah. All right. And what happened was, your bird, Trent, just got taxed off you. Your bird got taxed by the biggest slinging dick in the fucking Western Hemisphere. Old Real Madrido just came in and went, ha-he-ha, ha-he-ha-he-ha. Trentovsky. All right? getting finger blasted out in Madrid. So what's happened is you've gone, didn't want to go out with it anyway. You've gone into town, you've gone into Wade Smith and you've gone, Versace, everything, please. Everything, Versace, Balenciaga, give us out everything that cost a few shilling in here. I want that shirt. And you've gone into town. And as of yet, you're on the backward step. You've gone out, bought Ferraris, you bought all the fucking gear, all the gadgets. Because you haven't really thought about Liverpool as a football club. Liverpool do fantastically well when they don't spend. I was in the stadium. A pal of mine from the golf club passed away and he wasn't a religious man, so he got Anfield Kremen and they had to go into Liverpool. He's a Liverpudlian for his sins. And he went into they have like the funerals or like the wake in the thing. What I will say about Liverpool, this is how I know Liverpool aren't running properly as a club. This is how I know you're miles off it. And you know the value of, the price of everything, but the value in nothing. And I'll explain that to you in a second. By the way, the food in the place was lovely.
Thanks for that.
All right. So get in there and Guinness. They didn't have Guinness on draft.
No, you haven't Guinness on draft.
Cans of Guinness.
Yeah.
Warm cans of Guinness.
Yeah, we haven't Guinness on draft.
And the fella who passed away was a Guinness man. Like a proper, and if you put blackcurrant in your Guinness, he wasn't having you at all. So the fact that it was warm cans of Guinness, I'm like, my God. Like you spent all this, you spent 558 million euros.
And we got how many Irish coming over every week, and we can't give them a cold pen.
You haven't even got a decent pint of Guinness on it. You ground on draft.
Yeah, no doubt.
People are telling me it was the same at Goodison. I haven't had one at Bramley-Moore, but that's outrageous if that's true.
I know in terms of like the fan base coming over, and especially in the hospitality section, there's a lot of Irish coming watching.
Well, I'm saying to you, you've had a midlife crisis here as a club. Because your stadium's been redeveloped lovely, and I love what you've done with Anfield. You know, when I walk through the city now and I say Goodison that Everton built, Anfield obviously that Everton built, and Bramley-Moore, Fortress Bramley that Everton have built. It's you know, as a Scouser, it's lovely to see that. You know, the great Evertonians have built these great sporting arenas for everybody to enjoy. Not even the people who just believe in their way of playing football. Obviously, even shows how tolerant we are, allowing obviously our noisy neighbours to take on our old grafter and do it up, and you've done a nice job with it. But when I look at it and the way the stadium is and the redevelopment of that area, and obviously I have to drive past Goodison, which I've seen all the nonsense pottery teams are all over that now, isn't they?
Yeah,
which is like
banners in there.
Sacrilege. But obviously, you know, sometimes squats is right, isn't it? You know, it's not nice to see, but who am I to call that out? So then you're driving through that area, go into the stadium, and the thing that strikes you about it is, you know, from the corporate side and this is not just Liverpool. I think Liverpool do it as good or if not better than anybody, but certainly on that side of it, and going to Man United over the years, the corporate, the Tunnel Club at Man City, the corporate, and I'm seeing City fans complaining this week that 40 odd year season tickets across Main Road, and obviously the Etihad are being moved now for obviously more fan corporate experiences and all that to come in. And I heard a great thing this week, and I've seen great things this week with the European competition, especially last night, you know, watching Aston Villa against Go Ahead Eagles in the Dutch League and seeing the fans with a half a pint of lager in the stand as the game's going on, and the atmosphere in there for a small team, and obviously caused an upset in terms of beating Villa.
Yeah.
And for me, you know, that was football, and the continental teams haven't forgot that. You know, it's the price now in England. It's the money that you like. Even going to Everton Stadium, it is a lovely stadium, but it's just like, it doesn't feel like it's the people's game anymore. And this is what the clubs are missing. This is what they're missing. This is going to explode. This cash extraction from the fans is going. The bubble of this is going to burst. People are going to say, look, it's too much to pay 400 quid to go and watch a game of footy with 4 kids. You know, and everything that goes into it. You know, the cost of the pie and the cost of a pint and all that. And you know, as I say, this is the working class's game. And when you see it at lower levels, people are eventually going to have enough of the big stuff, and the tourist fan is eventually going to clear out. Eventually, people are going to say enough's enough. And then what we're going to be left with, I think, is a fucking massive financial issue in the game. like a tsunami of administration. Like we're already seeing it now. I think Sheffield Wednesday have gone into administration this morning.
I haven't read that.
This morning, yeah.
Fucking
That's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing Chef Wed have gone into administration this morning. An incredible football club, but again, you know, you get out of sync and the fans, you know, and there's loads of clubs where fans, we seen West Ham the other night, we done them on the Monday night, West Ham fans are protesting now. Listen, Liverpool are propped up by, you know, the longboats and obviously all the tourist fans that come in. Liverpool are a big club from a, you know,
global club.
You know, the same way I would imagine Real Madrid, Barcelona, Man United, etc. to be. You know, even when I was at the ground there for the wake the other day, you know, thousands of Japanese and all milling around outside and in and out the shop and, you know, so that just keeps bubbling on. I would expect that Bramley more. That's not happening.
Have you seen that?
I don't think that's happening.
Remember when they opened the did you see it on the internet?
Like £200 in shirt sales or something.
Oh,
well,
my
and the way,
God.
you know, you've got Everton and Liverpool shop in town. Obviously, they aptly named Everton 2, Liverpool 1.
Funny,
it is quite funny.
Yeah.
But also, people want to go to Anfield just to see the stadium.
Yeah.
Do you mean they go? I'll go to a supporter shop outside the stadium because I want to go and see the stadium. I want to walk around. I want to see the Hillsborough Memorial. I want to visit the Jota Memorial. I want to look
the
at
Shankly Gates.
Yeah, you know, there's Cop. I want to see it all, you know, whatever it is. And I'll walk into Stanley Park and I might walk over to Goodison and see the non-supported team now on the fucking billboards. But anyway, so for me, the thing about it is we've got to get back to football's got to get back to, because I listened to them Go Ahead Eagle fans last night. And they were fucking after it. Yeah, and we're half time, they were going, oh my God, it must be good down there because they're slow to come back, but they were singing, really got behind the team. And they were in essence a 12th man. Villa were bigger, stronger, faster, should have won the game easier, but they just had a load of athletes who technically were not fantastic, but they should have been out of sight. End up, just what scored when was the second goal for them?
This is Champions League.
Yeah, when was the second goal? Did they come, like, you had
61st minute,
61.
Minute.
So you had Villa then even, you know, started bringing on Morgan Rodgers, started bringing on players, but couldn't turn the tide of the momentum. And obviously the Dutch team, Go Ahead Eagles, had the crowd with them and something to defend. And it was just brilliant to watch. It was almost like the old FA Cup, you know, the level that it used to see, where you very rarely see it now because of the way they've set it up. But it was very much like a European version of that. And I know Paul Bosvelt was involved with Go Ahead Eagles. That's why I ended up flicking over and watching the game. But just to see the fans and the atmosphere and the energy in the stadium almost level the playing field after a period. And then once they got the beaks in front, not just that, it put wind in some of them lads' sails, you know, in terms of size and energy and output. You know, you could see them grow into the shirt, even though Villa, on the whole, were bigger, stronger, faster, you know, better athletes.
I think the problem as well with Liverpool and clubs like Man United, and you can put City in that bracket now, is the way the ticket sales are structured. It's Everton starts doing it as well. It's just wrong. You've got to buy them in like membership credits in batches. So you get you can buy 6 months ahead tickets. So if you've got the right membership credits, so it's not like a local fan experience no more. It's a tourist experience. You've got tourists from all over Europe and even the world saying, I've got my members credits, so I can go that game, then I can buy that game, and I can plan my weekend, and I can do this, and I can do that. There's no... It's apart from what Liverpool...
You want the tourist fan spends more.
Well, that's exactly what my point is. The local fan experience is not non-existent, but it's really, really low. And you could tell why we have better nights on midweek European games under lights, because the tourists can't really get to them games as easy as the local fans can. So you do see a lot more local fans at the European games, and yet they are bigger games. You're not going to get the atmosphere of a versus Real Madrid than you are versus a Sunderland, for example. It's not going to happen. But still, you can just tell there's a lot more local. And Liverpool also have, it's not enough. I think it's 250 tickets they have at the back of the main stand, which costs £7 or £11, and it's for L postcode only. You can only play with them tickets with L postcode. And 250 out of what? 60,000 seats? It's nothing, is it?
No, it's a token effort, isn't it?
That's all it is. There is a token effort. Yeah. It needs to be more, more numbers.
This is why I say this, because I say, knowing the value, the price of everything, the value of nothing. We've got to remember what makes football so special. Like, we know from COVID, them empty, soulless stadiums where they're having to put in and pump in crowd noise and effects to try and make it have some life. We know it's the fans that make the game. the passion and the energy. And obviously when they feel like they're being exploited or taken advantage of, they won't feel the same about it. So the key is finding the right balance. And I do think on the continent, I do think there's other countries that have got this right, either through market forces where they can't charge certain amounts because obviously, there's just not the market for it, people won't pay it. Or in the other cases where there is some kind of legislation put in to protect the fan and stop them from being exploited by these big corporations, these big entities that buy into football clubs and obviously want to get a return on their investment. We need to get back to, and as I say, to watch that game last night and watch some of them Europa League games, we need to get back to that because the fan atmosphere is so special, and I'm just petrified that we're going to lose that in this country. The thing that makes English football or British football so great is the fan interaction, the fan participation, the energy and the atmosphere. And obviously off the back of that, I think players' performance levels rise and fall.
Yeah.
You've seen in England games, you go, fucking hell, why are they being flat there? Not, done a bit better recently, but the reason being the fans, they don't really know, there's no energy in the fans, but then you go, my God, how's Divock Origi played like fucking Prime Zidane there? Well, because the fucking fans in the stadium that night have tickled his Mickey and he's fucking absolutely cooking on gas. That's the way it goes.
That's fact. That's not even like up for debate. That, I mean, if you ask any football fan about their time playing during COVID, any football player, any Premier League player, they'll tell you how fucking horrific it was when they didn't have that fan aspect involved.
Oh yeah, listen, absolutely.
Anyway, you must have played in front of no fans.
We all know that. The fans are a massive value, but also I'm just got to be careful we don't price them out, because I do think we're facing a bit of a tipping point moment here. If we don't get this next period right, I think we could ruin the atmosphere in our games by, as we already are, pumping far too many tourist fans into areas that, the atmosphere and the energy of that section goes, and that can be massively, important when it comes to, your team performance. I mean, a flat crowd, that must be where for certain stadiums, I know when I was at Bristol Rovers, the crowd not being in for COVID and not being in, it's probably worth about 6 to 9 points a season.
Yeah, I can agree with it. I can see that, yeah.
A home crowd, that's why the reason you have home and away games. It's the reason the Barca players and the Villarreal players the other day were in protest in the Girona game, kneeling, stopping for 15 seconds, was because they're saying, look, by playing that game in Miami, that gives somebody an advantage based on the home and away form. It's almost like nullified the fact that they would have had to go to a tricky place to play the away game. So it actually, delegitimizes the competition, because not everybody's had, the fairness of an equal crack at it, because they've played the game in Miami during the course of the season. And in essence, it's right.
Yeah, it is right.
How many more times are they going to do it? I know they're trying to captivate TV audiences and generate money that way, but also you got to be careful to not, devalue and make the integrity of the competition less. Okay, bad news, good news, bad news. I've got some good news and bad news for you.
Go on.
Good news is I relaunched my football career on Tuesday night.
Yeah.
Bad news is after 5 minutes of the game, felt me abductor. I had to drop back to centre half, and it's now temporarily on hold again. The
listen to your body. Career. Just listen to your body.
Joe, what I will say though, my passing was still like absolutely immaculate, even with one leg.
It weren't bad.
It was immaculate.
Good game, though.
Good game.
Was it just training?
No, we played well, to be fair. You didn't deserve to be on the losing side there.
Scored 4 goals, I think I scored all 4 of our goals.
Yeah, you played well there, yeah.
But we went down to the final kick of the game. It was drawing, and they scored on the last kick.
We didn't have a proper keeper either, though. They had a proper keeper, we didn't.
Yeah, it's true, actually.
Do you know what I mean? But it was a good game.
No, it was a good game.
Abducted,
8 aside,
5 minutes
quarter of a pitch.
Oh, that's tight.
Oh, but it was like...
Ping.
Good game, man.
Competitive. It was good.
Would have been nice if my body would have held up for it. But listen, I'll be back. A bit of work to do on the body, but God, I was impressed with me passing. You just don't lose your touch, do you? First few, we're in the rondo, and the first few, it's bouncing off the fucking particles in it. You're not used to playing on AstroTurf. Obviously, that's why I didn't go so well in Scotland. So not used to playing on AstroTurf. Used to fucking pristine surfaces where I played. So it takes you a little bit to adjust, your sight. It's almost like being a marksman, isn't it? You just have to tweak the fucking scope. Then once you get a handle on it, I actually really enjoyed it. But then felt the adductor, so I had to play on one leg. Luckily, I am that good. I can get away with it. But I had to drop from centre mid to centre half, push the centre half into midfield, and then just coach around me. But any time I got isolated, I was in big trouble.
Donny done well in centre mid, to be fair. Donny was pulling strings
well, yeah. No, it was a good game. Actually, a good game. Teams were right, weren't they?
Yeah, it was a good game. Good competitive.
No, if you get the teams wrong, it's shite. But obviously the comeback's on hold. And in the midst of that, I knew I should have known. I'd gone and had a bet on the midweeks, and obviously had a 5-timer. Portsmouth, Inter Milan to win, Arsenal to beat Atletico, Swindon, Notts County over 2.5 goals, and then I'd done Millwall, Stoke. I just done both teams to score. Millwall won 2-0, so I hit the bar on that. And then Napoli let me down in the other one. I had all over 1.5 goals, all in, 2 away wins. I was waiting on Napoli. Eindhoven got ironed out 6-2. So I should have known then that was a bad week to come. I hit the bar last night. I was waiting on... I had 5 teams in on the over 2.5 goals. I was waiting on Malmo, Zagreb. And Zagreb were coming on like a steam train. Couldn't hit a cow's ass with the banjo. Deflecting. Defenders totally bunging it wide nearly into the top corner of their own goals. Nothing would go in. Yeah. Then they scored in stoppage time. Yeah. For 1-1. I needed one more goal. So I don't do the cash out, do I? So I've hit the bar all week. I didn't have a bet Wednesday because obviously I didn't know what type of Liverpool side were going to turn up. But the Champions League this week has been, for the British clubs, a show of how strong our top flight is, hasn't it, really?
I think it has, yeah. I think I'm really liking, it's hard to say this, the look of Arsenal. I just think
you liking?
I mean, liking is...
You've been caning Arteta.
I hate that. I didn't say like Arteta. I didn't say like him.
This is Arteta's team.
Beating them 4-0 is a...
They're all over the gaff at the minute, though. They are all over the gaff at the minute.
Not just that, I just think the whole setup from the structure from the mid defence to midfield to forwards. Bar the forwards still got a little bit of...
Atletico Madrid are all over the gaff at the minute. This is not vintage Atletico Madrid. Simeone could be out the door here. This might be the end of his tenure here.
And then what do you reckon? Go to United?
I can't see it because Amarin's been told he's got 3 years. He's just turned Liverpool over. Liverpool are
he's just turned a really poor Liverpool side
Liverpool
over.
have just franked Man United's form by going and dusting Frankfurt away. Now, I don't think Frankfurt are a great side, and it probably suited Liverpool to play somebody like that there then.
Yeah, Frankfurt...
the fact that he's absolutely pumped them.
That first half an hour, he battered us.
First half was dodgy for me. Every time they attacked, look, they're going to score for me.
Yeah, and obviously they got the goal, so you go, fucking hell, here we go again.
I was like...
But then when I seen in their side, Goetze, I'm going, he's been done at this level for... You know, I know he scored a win in the World Cup final, but he's been done at this level for a long time. They've obviously sold Ekitike. They've obviously sold other players into the European big clubs from, the last few seasons there. So I knew it weren't going to be a case of, Liverpool are going to get absolutely steamrolled there. But when they scored the first goal, you go, oh my God, where are these at? Because when you've lost 4 games, then you're losing the 5th. But to be fair to it, I think that, Robertson inclusion, clearly we were saying Kirkes has been, massively under par. Robertson's experience, great pass through, FE10, fantastic touch, and then, good composure to finish it. And then after that, Liverpool just settled, and I think getting Isak off at our time actually helped, the team settle.
Imagine they, because Chiesa come on and again, done very well.
I was surprised to see it, but also I've been, how much of a fan I've been of Chiesa since he come in. I've been saying he hasn't had a fair crack at the whip him. Even when I was saying I'd love him at Everton and stuff like that. Now you're saying, I think he can only play as a sub.
Yeah, I think he's an impact player.
And I can kind of see that, but fucking hell, he's an international player coming on as a sub. I think he's a good enough player to start at places. It's just whether, you stick with Isak because he's been severely under par, and you stick with Salah who's severely under par because you might get away with one of them. I don't think you can against the big sides on the big nights, but by the time you get to them knockout stages in March, you'll want them firing or not.
Are we going to talk about...
Salah's got an African Cup of Nations, hasn't he, in December anyway?
Yeah,
so I'm looking at it now going...
Well, it looks like Frimpong was going to replace him, but his hamstrings are made of fucking Lazzy bands, aren't he? Frimpong's hammies.
And Bradley, as you know, is still not out the woods yet in terms of running games. Szoboszlai's gone to right back at times, but that's not his position.
He's not looked right. Apart from the Arsenal game, Szoboszlai's looked
There's still lots, obviously, big test for you again. Brentford, who were going well, beating West Ham Monday night. Keith Andrews, up and down in terms of results, and I do think it's a completely different test playing Liverpool. For Liverpool, it's been a bit of a unhappy hunting ground in the past, hasn't it? You've had some fucking tricky games down there.
We've had tricky games, and there's going to be goals because there's always goals when it goes down there. And watch it now, be 0-0.
But even Darwin Núñez got the goal last year, late
goal, yeah.
Chiesa came on in that game and got an assist.
And was it Maka put the ball over the top to Núñez, didn't he? That's what it was.
And again, you're going down there without, obviously some up. It looks like Isak could be injured. Looks like Frimpong could be injured.
Gravenberch could be injured. Obviously, Alisson's injured. So we got a few missing.
Are we going to talk about Salah's hissy fit?
I think we'll have to, because I think
what's he done? Is he taking the club off his socials and all that?
He sort of blacked out his header on his social media and changed his picture.
Can't say blacked out.
Yeah, he sort of darkened out.
Changed the colour.
Yeah, changed the colour of his header thing, didn't he? And changed the image. He took his Liverpool image up, put his family on now, something, and took all the words off or something like that. I haven't really looked too much into it, but I mean, even at the end of the game, he was going over to the fans, like, apologise and saying this. So for me, still...
Should have passed the Verts, though, for me there.
For you, for everyone in the ground and everyone outside the ground. That passed the Verts. And people are trying to make excuses, saying, his head's all over the place, he's this. That doesn't make an excuse for not squaring the ball to your teammate for a tap-in twice in 2 games.
Yeah, but you've got to think, like, you've got egos there, they mightn't have got on. They mightn't be getting on the training ground. That looks like they're not, really, doesn't it?
I don't know. I don't see how... From what I've heard about Verts, he's just a quiet, nice kid, no ego about him. Like, Salah's the ego.
Don't forget. Well, of course he is, because what he's done. Don't forget, Mane and Salah had a huge period where they weren't fucking playing each other in. And then Liverpool started to click when they all started playing as a trio. Firmino kind of tipped that in. But I always remember initially, because I remember talking to you about this, when Coutinho was still at Liverpool, and they were trying to find a way for the three of them to work in a team together, and Coutinho would obviously sometimes take the place of Mane. Yeah. And I said to you about Mane trying to get Klopp. He always fucking he was like a dog trying to get Klopp's attention in his fucking tail wagging, and he'd come off and he'd fucking leg him and all that. And then what happened was, I think that just annoyed Mane, and Mane just got better and better and better and better. And ultimately, the Coutinho sale to Barcelona unlocked the huge potential that was in the Mane, Salah, Firmino combination. When Coutinho was still there, that hadn't quite flourished at the level it could. And I really do think when... obviously, that's the changeover from the kind of Rodgers to Klopp era. I think when, the money for Coutinho, you couldn't turn down. But when he dropped out, I think they as a combination. But initially, when they were all playing together, I think there was a big ego there. And I wonder if it's been there with Salah before, with Mane and maybe a couple of others. You'd have to say at Chelsea, or other places he's been, maybe some of the reasons it hasn't quite worked for him has been to do with his, his selfishness as a player, because all great strikers have got to be selfish. Not wrong with that, because if Mane bends that in at Frankfurt the other day in the top corner, no one's moaning. The fact that he should have passed it for an easy goal for Vert and Salah, being a leader, Salah, I'm on about, sorry, Mane, Salah, and an easy goal for Vert is buying the bike, because if he bends it in, everyone goes, I want to finish. That's why he's Mo Salah. Like last year, he was bending them in the top corners or scoring them. This year, there's a bit of an introspection on him because his form, and now, if he doesn't square it there, and he's changed his head on his social media, all of a sudden, there's a big introspection into it, and everyone's saying he fucking hates Liverpool, he wants to leave.
I think with Salah, if he would, what he can't understand and can't grasp, I don't know whether he can grasp, but whether it's just a sense of forward selfishness. If he squares that, the fans probably think more of him, and the team thinks more of him, because he's set up as player who gets his first goal for Liverpool and stuff like that. So he's trying to be selfish, but he's just got to be more of a team player, which is, at this stage of his career, I think he has to put the ego in a box and just say, listen, right, I'm going to do the best for my team. I'm not going to look at me individually and spit my dummy out when I'm not starting or do it. He's got to look at the team. He's got to really go and spend a few days, look at himself in the mirror, saying, what do I want over this next 6 months with Liverpool? Because if it's individual performances and accolades, then, he's going to have a job on his hands, because he's got to be a team player with this team to help his teammates this year, because we're struggling as a team, we're struggling. But you're right over Coutinho, and I see when Coutinho left, we became better. And I see Vert as a very similar player to Coutinho in terms of he doesn't quite fit in what Arne Slot wants to do. He's not a left winger. He's not a 4-3-3. He's not an engine in the middle, but he's a really world class creative forward player. So,
but you've lost in that left flank pace and energy, and Diaz and taking people on in that flank. That's why I thought Chiesa, I'm like, do you give him a run? Because, you know, he's played right midfield, he's played on the front line, he's played left midfield. I think he's a kind of versatility forward. You know, someone who'll do a shift for you everywhere. But I'm looking at Liverpool going, as well as Gakpo can do in games, he likes to come in and cut inside. He doesn't really get you any penetration. Kerkez was seen as the
overlap.
And now you're going, look, well, Robbo is going to come back into it. Andy Robertson's going to come back into it. And you're going, you know, there's probably days of flying on the overlap, although that's what he's done. But you would say he's more of a support and fit, you know, the pass he plays the other day, using his passing range from that position. Now you need some energy and pace in that slot, which you haven't got.
Yeah, it's like square pegs and round holes at the minute for Liverpool. I just don't see how.
Ekitike got to start.
Ekitike's got to start, so is Wirtz. So you've got to build.
Wirtz done all right in the game.
You've got to build. You've got to build your team around. You've got to beat him around Wirtz this season. You've got to, however system you want to set up, you've got to make sure the system fits your players, your best players.
Though, I think Wirtz is the 10. He's a bit of a grafter. He's just lightweight. Like he does work hard.
And we just work hard, but
an up and down 8, Soboslai. I need a fucking
hold
proper
midfielder.
6. Yeah. Break up the play.
Curtis
give
Jones.
The ball to your better players.
No,
he's not though, is he?
No, he's not. He's not a 6.
We don't have one. We actually don't have one at the club at the minute.
Bietic is our only 6.
I'm not massively sold on Conor Bradley.
No, he's not. Once he goes past the halfway line, he struggles for me.
So I'm looking at that going, you could end up here with Soboslai at right back.
Positioning shit
right?
For right back.
You're going to end up with either Gravenberch or McAllister and Curtis Jones, a combination of the two of them.
And where do you fit Wirtz in?
And you've got to say, I think Wirtz at the level, you've got to go in and say to Wirtz, look, as you rightly point out there, and number 10, we're going to build this team around you. So you're going to be the heartbeat of this team. You're going to get us playing. So you're going to have a fucking role within this. Because if you've invested what you have in him, you know, and Ekitike's doing what he's doing, your problems are, as you say, fitting it all together. So you got to say, look, Wirtz, we are going to build you into the best talent in Europe.
Yeah.
You know, you're going to be Liverpool's talisman. Like, it's almost like picking a quarterback in a fucking NFL franchise, isn't it? But you've got to give that kid the confidence. I don't think he's, you know, he hasn't been terrible by any stretch of the imagination. But I just think when you come in at that price tag, there's just a pressure on you that is different from, you know, Chiesa coming in at 10 mil, or even if you're getting bought for 30, 40 mil now, that kind of, you know, there's not the pressure. When you're coming in over 100 million, you know, that the fucking, and the introspection into you as a player, you know, if you don't score a hat-trick every game, you're shit. Isaac's in the same boat. You're like, fucking hell, he should score a hat-trick every game because you just paid 150 million for him or whatever it is. Whereas, you know, if you score them goals, you go, yeah, you know what, all of a sudden you can feel the price tag lift off you, but the longer it rumbles on for them, the more it becomes like a hydraulic press, just pushing down and down. And you're seeing with fucking Nunes, it can turn you into a tin can.
Yeah, again, you're right, but I still think all those factors definitely do come into it, but still it boils down to getting the players into the best system that fits the players you've got at your disposal, not trying to fit players into your system, what you want to play, because playing Wirtz as a right midfielder or as a left winger, I know he plays left wing for Germany, he has done in the past, but that's when they've got runners. They haven't got egos with like Isak and Salah, who've got 2 big egos who are not runners. So it's getting that fitting on the system, and there's only 2 systems that I can see right now that fit Liverpool, but Frimpong's injured. So he was the right wing back outlay for me, with you either go for the diamond, I mean, you play a Wirtz as your number 10, you build your team around it.
Liverpool won't go to a back 3.
Or you go to a back 3.
That's back 5. Liverpool, back 3 is back 5 without the ball. That's not Liverpool Football Club. That's why I don't think you took. That's why I don't think you took Alonso in the end. I think in the end, like you look at it, Liverpool will play a back 4.
I know, but I think at the minute that's wrong. That's just my opinion.
I know, but I'm looking at it going, because if you play a back 3, when you're defending in a back 3, you're a back 5 as Manchester United are finding
with 2 sitters.
So Liverpool, you telling me Liverpool are going to play Brentford at home and play a back 3? Great, yeah. Oh yeah, we're playing 3-4-3 now. Great, all right, yeah, no problem. But as soon as they've got the ball, fucking hell, we're on the back 4. We're now back 5. I just can't ever. I can't ever envisage a world where I think Liverpool, hardcore Liverpool, it'd be thinking with that. It's almost like Barcelona going to it. It's like,
well, it's not. It's a short.
You're built on attack and play. And you're built on wingers, not wing backs.
What my point for this is, all season, every time, no matter who we play, whether it's Man United,
Lad,
whether it's Arsenal, when
you're
we're
telling me your superstars are going to become wing backs?
No,
like you tell me Kirkes is that good of a player and Frimpong's that good of a player, we're going to change the shape of the fucking dynasty of our club to get Frimpong and Wirtz in the side. You fuck?
We're going to change it.
We're
going to change it for, well, this is what I'd do, as a short fix to get back on to where we used to play. Because
you're not going to change the shape of the organisation to get Frimpong and Kirkes in the side, lad.
What about Wirtz then?
I'm telling you.
So what about Wirtz? How do you get Wirtz
fits in it? You just
doesn't fit in. The Wirtz doesn't fit in.
Because what you have to do is alter the way you play on the front line. So you've got, if you say, look, we're only going to have 4 defenders. So we need Virgil, Canate, and then Robertson or Kirkes at left back. All right, and then we're going to go Bradley, Szoboszlai, fucking Frimpong at right back. There are options. All right, and obviously you got your goalie options. Then we're saying we've got 3 midfielders. Or we say, look, we're going to go with 4 midfielders. We're actually going to play Mo Salah as a striker. No, you aren't. You're never going to do that because you've just invested in Mo Salah at a level that says you're going to play Mo Salah on the right.
Yeah.
Right, because that's Mo Salah's position. I can't see Mo Salah playing in the 10 inside. I can't see him playing in the 9 as a kind of false 9. Although
he can do, but he's not that.
I can't see Liverpool doing that with him. So I think Mo Salah's going to stay in that position, which says, okay, we've got the back 4 there, and we've got the goalie. So there's 5 of our team. Now we've got to put Mo Salah there because he's at that stage in his career and the money we've just invested in him. Whether we give him a little breather now, but he's going to have to play all the way up to December and then he can do what the fuck he wants for Egypt. And then we'll probably then get to the bottom of what our team looks like in an era without Mo Salah because we'll have Wirtz, Ekitike, Isak, Chiesa and Curtis Jones, fucking everyone else we've got as forward-thinking players there. So Liverpool's real experiment, I think, will come when Salah leaves to go to the African Cup of Nations. I think then you might see them go to a diamond in the middle with Isak and Ekitike and Wirtz in the 10 and go for 3 in the middle of Curtis Jones, Gravenbach, McAllister or something, or Szoboszlai, whichever way you want to look. I think then Liverpool will pivot to a diamond.
That's what, yeah.
So I think Wirtz and Isak and Ekitike will get a chance at being a 3, but in a 2 centre forwards and a number 10.
Yeah.
And they'll maybe split, maybe Ekitike. You know, there was a story of Isak could play off the left-hand side and as a Sociedad. So you could easily see Isak playing slightly on the left, Ekitike slightly on the right, but Wirtz in the 10 and creating a pressure wave from 2 kind of right and left forward in a number 10 position with a 3 in the middle. Almost as if Wirtz becomes Firmino and Isak and Ekitike are Salah and Mane, but obviously from a striking perspective rather from wingers cutting in and using the running capacity. They're obviously already in situ. I can't see Liverpool going to a back 5 and going, because I go, well, Conor Bradley isn't really a wing back. I know he plays it for Northern Ireland.
I wouldn't play him wing back.
But they end up on a back 5 more than they do on a back 3 for the games they play in.
Does Slot ever play this system in Feyenoord?
No,
I don't think he would.
The Dutch can coach anything. Don't forget, the Dutch are teachers, aren't they? So there's no doubt, you know, if he's one of the best Dutch coaches at this moment in time, Arne Slot, which is no doubt he is, he'll be able to coach a back 3 as fluidly as he would be able to coach a back 4. There's no issue with it. The thing for me is, I think Liverpool are a back 4 team because that means you've got 6 offensive players. All right, 8 offensive players if you look at it properly because your 2 fullbacks will go.
Yeah.
All right, but if you're a back 3 team or a back 5 team, you've actually already got, just by default, our centre-halves are going to overlap and join in like Chris Wilder, Chef United. No, Xabi Alonso done this 3-4-3. I don't think Liverpool would ever pivot to become a back 3 team because it means when you haven't got the ball, you're a back 5 team. And I think the way you play, I don't think you actually need to. I don't think Liverpool need to based on the personnel they've got.
I'm going to have to stop you because we've been talking about Liverpool for about 5 minutes.
We always do.
But it's obviously a big talking point at the minute.
For sure. And it'd be interesting to see how they solve it. I think the African Cup of Nations will shake that group out.
It will
Salah behaving the way he has and doing what he's done. Look, no one's bigger than the club. No one's bigger than Liverpool. And also, you know, Liverpool just weighed him in. So, yeah, he's getting a bit of stick. But also, when you're getting paid 500 grand, 700 grand, we expect fucking performances and goals. And if you don't perform and do it, you're getting paid for it. You're getting paid on last year's output and you're not putting out last year's output. It's like me coming in and saying, I'm only going to do 45% of the work I done last year. I'm not even going to... well, tough shit. We're paying you for 100% because that's what we paid you for last year.
Yeah.
So he's got to take the stick, but he takes the stick all the way to the bank every fucking month.
Yeah, I don't think his excuses.
Massive game for me at the weekend. The biggest game for me is Man United Brighton. Obviously, Man United 2 wins on the spin
Not
against
Everton Tottenham.
No, I don't think it is. I think the biggest game of the weekend, to see how far they've progressed. Brighton have always been a bit of a bogey team for United.
They have, yeah.
Ameron's won the last 2 games. Obviously, great performance last time out against Liverpool, and obviously a good performance against Sunderland at home. But again, I think this is a true test for them. I think it'll be a really, really tricky game for them. We go tonight, Friday night game, Leeds, West Ham, which is a 6-pointer in the relegation battle already in October.
West Ham are in trouble, aren't they? They get beat tonight.
But again, you could see Leeds at Ellen Road turning them over, couldn't you?
Leeds at Ellen Road have done very well this season. They've been quite solid. I can see Leeds winning that one 1-0.
Chelsea, Sunderland, could they have a little bit of an hangover from the European? I mean, they got a good win during the week, but big enough squad to affect it. I mean, I do see a lot of, Fofana was back in the defence for the Champions League game during the week.
They made a few changes. Chelsea, they rotated a few.
They've got a big squad,
so I think they'll be fit enough this weekend. It's not as if they got massive injury. Well, but I think Sunderland can nick a goal there. So we'll see how many can Chelsea score.
Newcastle play Fulham. Jose Mourinho was back at St James's Park with Benfica during the week. Obviously, Newcastle, Anthony Gordon and Cole got the job done there. Good win for the Toon.
They look good, Newcastle.
They do, yeah.
The only thing is for me is the squad, the depth in the squad that they've got. At the minute, I do worry about that.
Well, yeah, but at the minute it's fine. So as it stands, the Newcastle squad's it's great. So I think Newcastle will have too much of Fulham. If they get a few injuries, know what you mean, they can fall away quick.
Well, that was interesting. I don't know whether you've seen that. And obviously Sean Dyche is taking the Notts Forest job now. Not a good Forest job.
Go on, Dyche.
Marco Silva was linked heavily with it.
With the Forest job?
Yeah. Marco Silva.
Would you have him back
closed in the bet.
Do you have him back at Everton?
Marco Silva?
Yeah.
No, that ship sailed.
Yeah.
That ship sailed, yeah. But I seen him, so I don't know whether he's trying to angle to get out. He's done a great job of Fulham, whether he's trying to angle to get out of Fulham now.
I can see him at a big club,
Well, he's as I say, done well at Hull, which got him the Everton gig and Watford. But also, he has rebuilt his reputation, I think, at Fulham after the Everton shit show.
It was a shit show, yeah.
Wolves Burnley's another 6-pointer
game, innit?
Wolves Burnley got to beat, Burnley good win last time out against Leeds. I can see Burnley getting something there.
I can see both teams to score, definitely. You know what? I can see Burnley 2-1.
Yeah, I could say I'm going to go
draw.
I'll go draw in that game, but I think a point on the road for Burnley would be good. But you could easily see them winning.
I think if Burnley want to stay up, I think they've got to be winning that game.
Arsenal play at home after a thumping win against Atletico, or certainly looked quite comfortable in the end.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it?
Crystal Palace, who played last night in the Champions League.
Yeah, they got beat but not battered 1-0. So it was one of them games for them where they just couldn't score.
I see Mateta miss a sitter for them. I can't see Arsenal having a problem with them, albeit they are a tricky team in terms of performances.
With that.
In terms of, you don't know what version of Palace turn up, but I can't see them getting any change out of Arsenal at the minute.
Yeah, I think Palace, again, I can see Palace scoring now. I know Arsenal have had a great defence, but I just think the way he sets up, I just think...
I don't know. I'm going to go home win easy there. I'm going to go like 2-0, 3-0 Arsenal.
Could be, yeah. Could be.
They just seem to be getting the job done at the minute, whichever way they go about it. As I say, they've got the set play threat. And I just think Gocheres has started getting his snout in amongst the goals.
Yeah.
I think...
He still can't run now.
I think Palace's Thursday night game's going to take toll on them there. I think that they're going to pay for being in the European game on a Thursday. Same with Aston Villa. Obviously, Man City played well. Good win at Villarreal during the week. Haaland, City, just look at it for me.
They do. They missed him because he was in out the team last season, Haaland, wasn't he, a bit? And you can notice Haaland, when he's on bomb, he's the best in the world.
Just in terms of spirit of the tiff, he's, he can be, as you say, abject in games, build up play, back to goal, can be a bit sloppy at times, but when it comes to running onto the ball, getting in that penalty area and putting the ball in the onion,
he's the best.
He's as good as anybody, especially when he's focused like he is now. I think he's got a bit of a bee in his bonnet about City's season's performance last season and obviously in the summer, and it looks like he's intent on showing the world just who the best goal scorer is.
I find it mental that some people still talk about is off the ball work rate and does he do enough off the ball. It doesn't need to do it. If
the thing is that differentiates him from Salah, and that is if he's shit at 6'3", 6'4", so he's still a threat from set plays and he still helps you defensively from set plays, whereas Salah doesn't.
Yeah,
so you can carry somebody like that, but when you've got two in the side like you've got at the minute, I don't think you can.
No, we can't.
You can carry one.
We definitely,
just about.
Yeah, you're right. But I mean, for City, they didn't really have. They only had Haaland and Alvarez. I'm sure, if City had Alvarez now as well, imagine that. He's some player as well. So I think if he gets injured, Haaland, that's when I think City could struggle.
Yeah. I mean, look, you could say that about any team with the main players, though. You know what I mean? If your main players get injured, you're fucked, aren't you? But Rodri's injury or lack of games at the minute would more concern me, because if you get a couple of them, Haaland and, then you lose another, Ruben Diaz or Donnarumma or something. All of a sudden you lose three big players, then you go, that's going to massively affect you. I think one being out is a blow, but it doesn't derail your season. Once you start picking up a couple, and as I say, every team has got to be lucky with injuries.
Well, you got to be lucky. That's everyone knows. You need a little bit of luck to win the league. You do. I think City had a bit of bad luck last season, and they went on that big mad run. Didn't there was 4 or 5 games they got beaten on the bounce or something. Yeah,
they were a shadow of themselves, weren't they? No one had seen the likes of that with the Pep Guardiola.
They had a bit of unluck with injuries, and this season they've had the luck. So let's see.
Forest beat Porto last night in the European competition, but have got a tough away game down at Bournemouth on Sunday.
Very tough.
Daichi's first win. Obviously, he'll want to get his first league win under the belt. He did keep a clean sheet for the first time in a while. But Porto did score a goal from a set play again. Not Forest have had an Achilles heel for set play goals. Porto scored a goal which VAR ruled out. He was just marginally offside from the first contact. And again, if they'd have scored at that point early in the second half, it goes 1-1. It's fucking game on. As it was, Forest managed to get the second goal and obviously win the tie. It'll settle everybody down. Obviously Maranachas has had the patty in the box just to calm his nerves. And
that's why they were all running, wasn't it? The Forest players.
Bournemouth at this moment in time. I'm going to go goals in that game. I think there'll be goals in that game. I'm looking forward to watching that just before the main course of Sunday, which is Super Sunday. The Fortress Bramley Moor for the Super Toffees, Everton FC against Tottenham, Thomas Frank, Tottenham Hotspur. I'm hoping the wind's up because I don't think Thomas Frank with his fucking fanny head will be able to stand on the sideline if Bramley Moor starts howling gales.
The docks are blowing. I think Everton could get a little sneaky result there,
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't. It's what version of Everton turns up. If
Ndiaye and Grealish are on form,
I think they're always going to give you creativity. The problem you've got is, a full-back for Spurs, obviously Jed Spence is against Illiman and Ndiaye. So we'll get a real good look at Jed Spence at left-back because Ndiaye can be a really tricky customer, especially if you get overly tight to him. So that's an interesting battle. Down the other side of the pitch, you've got Pedro Porro, who likes to push on and get forward. And obviously that is where the space for Jack Grealish could exploit in that slot. The big issue I have is you're going to have to play Beto because Van der Veen and Danso, the centre-halves there, big, strong, physical lads. And I don't think Barry is mature enough, in terms of his performance.
He'd get bullied, wouldn't he?
I think his confidence is low, but obviously I don't think he's mature enough to go and lead the line. For all his faults, I think Beto is a physical outlet, although he does lack a little bit of care and quality. But again, Everton's midfield there, it's going to be a good battle there. You're going to have Idrissa Gueye, Dewsbury Hall, and I'm trying to think who else you go in there. Could well go Garner in there.
You go. What's name?
In a Boogum.
No, the Alvarez.
No, I think he might play. Yeah, I think he might play a role off the bench. I think it'd be Dewsbury Hall, Idrissa Gueye, and James Garner. I think it'd be Myelenko at left back. I think it'd be O'Brien at right back, and then Keane and Tarkowski, Pickford in goal.
You see Tarkowski's done a podcast, hasn't he, with Crouchy and that?
No, I don't have time for podcasts. I'm too busy building our podcast. Too busy working on ours. Don't have that leisure time that you've got.
I'll listen to his
or practicing sport.
You are.
So it's a good weekend.
Yeah.
It's a good weekend of footy. Right, I'm going to get into I'm going to get into my bet. As I said, I've hit the bar this week. I'm hoping the weekend gives me a little bit more, luck, a little bit more scrap. But again, as I say, it's only a bit of an interest for us. It's, you know, you're watching football all the time anyway. It's just about having a bit of a little bit of an interest in it. And again, this is not financial advice. This is just what we think is going to happen. So my bet at the weekend, lad, I'm going to do over 1.5 goals. I'm going to stick to the 10. So I'll keep getting greedy, going for like 12 and 14s. But I don't really look at this weekend's fixtures and think there's loads that jump out for me in terms of picking a result and performance. And as I say, I've had a bit of bad luck this week hitting the bar on a couple of bets. But I'm going to go over 1.5 goals in the Man U Brighton game first. I'll go down the leagues in order of the league. So Premier League, Man U Brighton. Championship, Blackburn, Southampton.
Yeah.
Hull and Charlton.
Yeah.
League One, Red and Doncaster. And the top of the table clash with Stevenage and Bradford. League Two, Crewe, Grimsby.
You missed me on League Two now. Go on.
Notts County, Cambridge, and Swindon, Colchester. Swindon have always beat me tip for the League Two title, but obviously they've had a tricky couple of weeks there, but still scoring goals. Yeah. And then in the National League, I've got Scunthorpe Aldershot and Southend Brackley to complete the 10. All over 1.5 goals. So I'm just going to have a bullseye on that.
I've just done 3 teams, mate. This my one.
It's a good thing, yo. It just keeps you in the. You've always got a chance with the over 1.5 goals. A good little bet,
yeah. I think mine are both teams to score, home team to win.
Good bet.
I've gone Man United, Brighton, Arsenal, Palace, and Barnsley, Rotherham. That's like 37 to 1 there.
Yeah, and I'll put the odds on the.
So just them 3 games. I just think that's gonna. I just think Palace are gonna score. I think Brighton are gonna score. I think Barnsley, Rotherham's gonna be that's the one where it's gonna be there's a few goals in that one because it's gonna be
scoring a Palace game. Arsenal game's brave bet.
Well, I just think Palace are gonna score. I just think the way he sets them up.
What price you getting for that then in total?
38 to 1.
Oh, that's not a bad little bet.
Yeah. I don't think Palace are going to score against Arsenal.
I know, but say they score in the first minute, you're going fucking hell.
Arsenal, I know what Arsenal
after the Lord Mayor's show there, let it go. They fucking been sloppy in the first 10.
Well, Arsenal had like 2. How many minutes did they go? Well, they didn't concede a shot on target. Like 2.5 games.
I think Gabriel Hines has done a good job there since he's gone in. He seems to have changed the psychology at the back line. Seems to be a lot stronger. You know, Calafiore playing loads more now over Lewis Skelly for size and obviously the physicality. But
that made sense. Calafiore in for Lewis Skelly. I think he was overrated a bit, Lewis Skelly myself. I think he needs a lot. He's only a kid. He's only young. He's got a lot of time to play. But what I've seen of him, I don't even think he's a fullback, to be honest.
Okay. Well, football-wise, good luck with your bets and getting stuck into it. Hopefully you have a bit more luck than I've had this week and you can land a coupon. But as we always say, make sure you bet what you can afford, bet responsibly. There's nothing worse than giving your money to the bookmakers.
But we all do anyway.
But we all do, yeah, we all do. But it's nice when you get a bit back off them. But again, for us, just a bit of interest. Just keep yourself engaged in it. And obviously, there is loads of ways if you're having a problem with it to seek help. I'm not saying you need it, but I'm just saying don't be giving your hard-earned readies to...
We're not talking help to win a bet.
Yeah, don't be giving your hard-earned readies. Yeah, it is right though, isn't it? You mean you got to find that balance. Talking of balance this week, the government have put the foot in it again.
And again. And again.
With the grooming gang issue. People keep telling me to stop calling it grooming gang, but I have to because I don't want to keep having to get Noah to bleep out grape gang. Do you know what I mean? So just that's why I say you know exactly what we're on about. I'm not trying to downplay it in any way. It's just for finger of getting censored. Fair play to Fiona Goddard and Eliane Reynolds, who have, walked away from the government's grooming gang liaison.
Though? There's been 5.
There's more now. There's more now.
She was the first one to...
Yeah, they said, look, obviously, we can't be privy to this. What's going on here? The attempted kind of whitewash of the inquiry. I think Jess Phillips, MP, should resign. I think the way she's conducted herself through this whole process has been absolutely abysmal. And if she had any fortitude, anything about it. I think she'd resign based on what she's done, especially when it came out that she's actually smeared survivors of these horrific crimes and call them liars.
Yeah, but basically what she's done. And they've come back to me and said, listen, I've got the evidence there. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I think it was, is it Raj Mir or something like that?
Yeah,
is the
but listen, it's all come out in the wash now, so we know why this is happening. We know why they basically kiboshed this inquiry. It's all for Keir Starmer to working for these Muslim votes. There's nothing else to it. There's about 2 MPs come out now and say they've been told, do not mention the race of these people because it would hinder votes in the community.
But even sometimes when they were being recorded, they were being recorded incorrectly on purpose.
It's all about
so they're being
votes.
labelled as a different ethnicity than what they actually were, so that the numbers were fudged, allegedly. And so they're saying here, grooming gang survivors were forced to submit questions to the Home Office for pre-approval before interviewing inquiry chair candidates. Some were even barred from attending. This government is once again proving that they are not on the side of the people. They are censoring victims, shielding their own failures, and deliberately toying with the long overdue national inquiry. We even know that some police officers were not only complicit in the cover-ups, but the grapes themselves. So how in the world are we still 4 months down the line here being in the process of people playing political ping pong with this issue? Even when the survivors of this are involved in the process of it, they don't feel like they're being listened to or heard by the process of it, and they're having to resign and come out and further defend themselves through MPs and politicians smearing them in the media.
Well, what's going on? It's all to do with votes. We've been told now. This the former Labour MP from Rochdale, Simon Danzach, is that his name actually?
Danzach, yeah.
Danzach. So he's come out and said he was told not to mention the race of the perpetrators because it would hinder the votes.
Well, this is the thing, isn't it? This diversity is our strength. We've had this before. Wasn't it a Labour MP who came out and said that the girls involved in it, the victims of these grapes, right, should keep their mouths shut, keep their heads down for the sake of diversity? And she liked the tweet. The MP liked the tweet or retweeted the tweet. If you get that, like, I can't remember whose name it was, the chattel, no doubt. So someone had put a tweet out saying, hey, these girls who've been groomed and graped by these religion of peace people, right, for historic sexual offences, should keep their mouths closed, should stay quiet. Because if people find out about this, there's going to be chaos for the sake of diversity. And a sitting MP, right, a sitting politician, liked and retweeted that tweet of somebody else's.
I don't know what more evidence they need.
Claim it was some kind of mistake or whatever.
I don't know what more evidence. You can like it by mistake, but you can't like and retweet it by mistake. That's fucking not. To me, it's
there's a blissful ignorance around this. I've been watching some of the mainstream media, particularly the BBC, and obviously the pendulum swung now because people are seeing through the nonsense. People are seeing towards common sense. There is still some people who have just got OPS, ostrich paralysis syndrome, where they've just stuck their head in the floor and they just do not want to accept the reality of what's going on. Now, I seen that in action on the Beeb during the week. There was a lady on. Obviously, she had the skin pigmentation you would expect, and she's doing everything she can to deflect from this issue, to deflect that this is not about the colour of or the religion of somebody. This is about, people doing this. A lot more people do this. A lot more men do this. This is a man issue. This is all about males committing these crimes and to females. This has nothing to do with certain religious.
The numbers don't stack up,
right? But she was getting asked questions specifically about the grooming gangs, specifically about certain crimes. We just seen Rochdale in the news because there's people on trial there in the last week, and all she did was put obstacles in the way for it not to be discussed by trying to make it a bigger issue about males in general, males with it being a toxic masculinity issue and a male issue rather than what we all know it to be.
Yeah.
And if we don't have an inquiry about it at a national scale, that doesn't involve the police force, who some say are involved, at least in the cover-up of it. Some say are involved in some of the crimes.
Yeah.
And if we involve politicians who've been on the council of those areas where they might have been or privy to or know people who could have covered up the crimes, then how can we have an independent inquiry? We need people like Maggie Oliver, who, in my opinion, for this issue, should be given a Dame. Should be Dame Maggie Oliver for the work she's done for these victims. She's still out there, but how is she not involved in it? How is she not privy to it? Because all the people, this reminds me, and again, get me tin hat on here, tin foil on, the JFK. The Warren Commission that done the inquiry into JFK, which contained Alan Dulles and all that, was and whitewashed the whole process. This just stinks of another version, just another version of that. The same thing that we've had with the post office scandal, the same thing we've had with multiple other scandals across the history, where they just put their head in the floor like an ostrich and just pretend it's not happened. The same thing we've got now with the royal family and the BBC, where we're going, no, there's no nonsense here. No. Where'd you get that 12 mil from? No, not to see it. No, keep moving along. Andy's, listen, we're going to punish Andy. Andy's getting punished. Know what, you little bastard? You know what we're going to do with you? You're going to go and live in Dubai in a villa with servants. Fucking look what. You ever do that again? Oh, we'll do that again. You're sweating profusely now, though, aren't you? You're fucking dead.
And they sent him to a castle in Scotland or something.
As if he's going to fucking change his thing. Like
Randy Andy.
Yeah, he's just been caught. It's not about what they've done. It's just that they've been caught for it. And this is the same thing. It's the same thing with these politicians. These unscrupulous characters. They don't care for anything that they speak about. They genuinely don't care. All they care about is how many clicks or likes or votes or influence is that likely to give me. So it's the ultimate extension of virtue signaling. This week, the thing that's got me this week was we've had Shabana Mahmood, right, who's already got people looking at her going, right, what are you going to do? Like, what's going to be your game in this new role? Oh, I'll tell you what, we've had synagogues attacked. We're having Jewish football teams banned from certain cities in our country. I'll tell you what to do. Let's get round a load of mosques. I'll tell you what we'll do. This is a great strategy for us. Get round a load of mosques and we'll say to them, because you feel unsafe and you feel vulnerable here, we're going to promise you 10 million quid for your security and we're going to come in and all start shaking hands with me and the Prime Minister. And you're going, oh, what are you on about? The only mosques that have been attacked are the ones by your fucking own Ali fucking Al-Baba, fucking 63, who's pretended it to be someone who's not, and has been collared, setting fire to his own mosque, which is what we've seen this week.
It was in Kettering, that mosque, wasn't it?
In Kettering. So I'm saying to you, what have we seen done to mosques? What I've seen is people attacking synagogues. And as far as I knew, a synagogue and a mosque aren't the same thing. So why are mosques getting more money for safety, 10 million quid promised to them, when none of them have been fucking attacked? The ones that have been by Ali Al-Baba fucking hyphen nonsense pottery names.
I know, and they're like, it's as you said, we know for a fact the one in Kettering was done by a Muslim. The mosque was attacked by a Muslim. And this other one with another firebomb in the car, similar situation. You know, they look to me more and more like 100% inside work. But then you look at the stuff what's already gone in the country, like Southport. We've never seen the Prime Minister contact, we'll give you 10 million to secure schools, to do this, to do that, to make beef up security, to make sure this doesn't happen again. And child supervision, and we'll do this. We didn't see any of that.
Concerts after the Manchester Arena got
didn't see any of it. It was like, no, you just crack on and do what you want to the people of this country. I'm going to protect the all the mosques. But what he's missing, he's doing this for votes. Again, we know that. He's twerking for the Muslims for votes. That's what he's doing. But he doesn't understand, because he's too fucking thick to understand, that the flip side of that, he's pushing British citizens away from his party by doing this. Because we can see both sides. They're saying, no, what are you doing for all that side?
But
You're
also
doing nothing
from his
for this.
perspective, if you want the Muslim vote, because they haven't got with the greatest respect to them, they haven't got an independent vote. It's a block vote. So if you get that vote, you get all of the votes. Because if the imam goes, yeah, that's our candidate, then you get all their votes.
But what's the
Whereas he can, white people in the whole, who this is obviously going to antagonise people who aren't Muslim. Jewish people, this is going to antagonise. Sikhs, this is going to antagonise. Christians, Protestants, this is going to antagonise. White people, this is going to antagonise, because they're going to go, hang on a sec, why are we not getting any of these protections from, let's be honest, we've got 75% of the people on MI5 terrorist list are Islamic, Muslims. 75% of the people that are British terrorism task force for policing domestic terrorism are watching 75% of one religion who represent 6% of the population. Because that's what the Muslim population is, 6%. And yet 75% of those 6% are on our terrorism watch lists. So that says something not quite religion of peace there. There's something, maybe not with everybody, but clearly some people are taking these interpretations of some Bedouin warlord from the 7th century. Right now, as an agnostic or an atheist, we're not allowed to question any of these floor butters or men in the sky people. Even the old hallelujah, save the Lord. We've got to question all of this. Every single thing for this should be up for question and up for debate at all times. Because if it is true and it is the right way, it will win through and it will resonate. We shouldn't be forced to do it. If you don't do it, I'm going to take it in the garden and whip you 50 times. Or if you don't do it, I'm going to chop your foreskin off. Or if you don't do it, I'm going to chop your head off. Or I'm going to chop your hand off. Then you go, probably not the right thing for me to do this, is it? Because you're saying you're going to chop my fucking dick off if I don't fucking believe this. Then feels like I've got a fucking gun to my head. Feels like I'm like forced to do it. And if you get excommunicated, as the Catholic Church has done, and I don't know whether you've seen old Charlie Sausage Fingers was over in the Sistine Chapel with the Pope. Yeah. Strange old interaction if you watch it. Dressed for the funeral.
Why? Yeah, I was going to say that. Why would they dress for the funeral?
Don't know. There's something sinister at play.
It looks very fucking satanic.
Surely you wear a nice frock,
Explain.
Charlie and his beard went over to the Pope, didn't he?
The first time the King of England and the Pope have ever said prayer together was yesterday. Do you not even know this? See, you millennials.
But his beard was in like a full.
It's a momentous occasion.
You're here when you've got mate.
The king of the spiritual world, or the vicar for God himself, the Pope. The vicar means someone who's in care of for. So the vicar of the world for God is the Pope, right? And you've got King Charles of England, King Charles Goat Saxberg, who's the Habsburg dynastic 1,000-year-old bloodline king, was at one point the ruler over an empire where the sun never set on it, the British Empire. And you've got these two. You'd have to say, almost like the Holy Roman Emperor would be the Pope now. You know, he's the leader of the Catholicism on the planet. Imagine how much power and influence he wields. And obviously Charlie Goat Saxberg, he's changed it to Windsor, so he fucking thinks people like me don't get on him. But we all know he's Goat Saxberg. And Charlie meeting for the first time to say prayers together. Now, the most peculiar thing for me was Charlie Goat Saxberg wore none of his fucking nonsense pottery uniforms. Didn't wear any of his things with his badges on. Nobody wears all his medals and all that. Yeah. Didn't wear his sword. Didn't curtsy or none of that stuff. He was kind of like, all right, mate, what's happening? Yeah, and his beard Camilla was dressed for the funeral. Yeah. They were all dressed for the funeral. It was peculiar.
It was weird.
The Pope and all his fucking oppos had all their fucking gowns on, all the nonsense pottery gowns with
the little willy flashes.
Charlie Sausage Fingers and all the half had what can only be described as funeral attire on.
Yeah. It just looked bizarre for me.
So I don't know who's been sacrificed to the gods there. Could it be Randy Andy? Could we see Randy Andy sacrificed to the gods?
In like an Aztec kind of
situation. He's got to get rid of him somehow.
They put him at the top of the pyramids in Egypt.
Listen, he's got to go somehow, He's got to go somehow.
Yeah, someone's got to be fucking sacrificed.
But you got to get rid of him. It's either...
It's also sadistic in that Vatican. Have you watched Angels and Demons with Tom Hanks?
Yeah, it's not real, like, you know.
If you've ever been there, it's the most peculiar place you'll ever go to.
Never been,
It's like a city within a city. It's
well, it peculiar. Is a city, isn't it?
I know, but when you walk into it, it's fucking peculiar. And I didn't even go into like the Sistine Chapel, the queues and that were that big for it. I can't imagine what they've got in there. And I can't imagine what they've got that no one ever sees. They must have...
What?
Because they had everything on the planet at one point.
They stole it all, didn't they?
Yeah, but who's the other fella who will? Charlie Sausage Fingers, because we must have had everything off when we've had our empire. We must have fucking half-inched everything.
I think the Vatican's got probably more than us. Like, and
absolutely it has. But we'd have had a good go.
All kinds of Dead Sea Scrolls and all sorts, what they won't release to us because it doesn't align with what.
For what?
Because just to keep their religion at the top.
So monkey dust, like formulas for like monkey dust, what like you rub this mushroom and this tree together, and next minute you're in
start growing wings.
You're in a portal in Elephant 9 in the solar system, far away with lizards.
You're in a spa with Mo Salah.
Hey, talking of lizards, David Icke's coming on. We're getting David Icke on the pod.
Talking of lizards, fucking hell.
He's a man. He believes the lizards. He believes the royals are lizards.
Listen, we'll get
be interesting to ask him.
We'll get to the bottom of it.
Can't wait to talk
be
about
interesting to see what he's got to say about, because he's been
right
on some things, hasn't he? But
also, if you look at his videos back in the 90s, and everyone was taking the piss out of him and stuff, some of them were like, hang on a minute, he's being bob on there.
Listen, we'll get
to the bottom of it. It's going to be a good
conversation.
It'll be a good conversation.
Are we going to talk about who the other guests we've got booked in, or are we going to wait? Should we just leave it?
We've got some good ones, eh?
Got some good ones coming up, to be fair. Moving into a new studio over the next few weeks, hopefully.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got Charlie Veach booked in. I'll say it, fuck it.
Charlie coming on.
Charlie's coming
Ant
on.
Milton said he'll come on.
Yeah, Ant Milton.
We're trying to get Christian Craighead on, the SAS guy who went into the thingy over the hotel.
Good ones.
That'll be what a story that is. That's going to be some story.
Leave some names in the comments.
Tripp said he'd come on, didn't he? Kieran Trippier, but he's been playing, so don't know whether he fucking got any. He's got any.
Fucking just draft that one, yeah.
Just playing Trips. Yeah, said he'd get on. Tom Aspinall, we're hoping to get on.
Yeah. Big fan of the podcast.
Hopefully he does well the weekend. He's got a fight Saturday night. So
he's watching it.
He'll be on decent time here, won't he?
About
11 so good luck to Tom.
10, 11 o'clock, innit?
Hopefully he gets the job done. Interestingly, I don't know whether you've seen the fallout. Obviously, Bob Villan's done a piece with Louis Theroux. Done an interview.
I have seen it, but I've seen he's done a piece, but I've not watched it.
He said
basically said, in a roundabout way, you know they're only saying this about me because I'm black. Because I is black.
He hasn't.
Because I is black.
So there's nothing to do with he wanted to, he wants to kill X, Y, and
Nothing
Z.
to do with the fact that he was shouting deaf to the IDF on Glastonbury. He's also come off and said in the interview that everyone at the BBC was buzzing with him when he come off. He said everyone was absolutely delighted with him. So I'm like, well, that doesn't look good for the BBC, does it? Because it clearly shows some kind of left-leaning political bias towards an issue that the left or the right, the BBC should sit impartially, isn't it?
Well, we know
the state broadcaster.
What is the IDF? Sorry, I don't know what the
Israel Defence League.
Okay. The Israel Army. So if you remember at Glastonbury, you were there, although you might have been
Forces,
there. Yeah. Bob Villan took to the stage and part of his set,
definitely went
very, very pro-Palestine.
I seen it, but I definitely went there.
And one of the things he was chanting, and he has been chanting other gigs, even though he got caught lying and denied it, and obviously someone had a video from it, shouting mad shit on stage about Israel and Israel's right to defend its country, or it's what it's doing as part of its war effort in Gaza. Anyway, or in that area in the Middle East. Anyway, he's then kind of just gone, yeah, well, we all know why it is, and Britain and Louis Theroux, who is an interviewer who has interviewed Jimmy Savile in the past, and in my opinion, give him an easy ride.
He did, yeah. I watched that one and he did.
Did he? Yeah.
Yeah, but
he's interviewed loads of other people in the past.
He interviewed Savile, but this is before Savile was obviously...
I've seen the clips of it where Savile's basically almost...
admitting it.
He's admitting it in like
a weird sadistic way.
Like, I'm doing this, but...
Like, you know what
you can do about
the reason why I wear trackies is because I can get my Mickey out quicker.
But also, think about Louis Theroux, right? You could have been on record there calling Savile a nonce to his face. And it might have been a bit of short-term pain there, because he might have come after you and used whatever embulance, that might be the right word, whatever, I have to be careful here, because if I utter the wrong word, I see the fucking chat on me for it.
The grammar police
whatever,
tools.
Whatever Savile had left still at his disposal, in terms of he probably had a bit of blackmail on people around him who've been part of the same
cabal. Probably had the royal family in his pocket.
Probably, but I'm saying... Theroux's done them interviews with him towards the end where he's probably been aware of the allegations, but has tiptoed as close to the line to it as he could without actually outing him. Even though, anyone watching it who's spider senses weren't tingling, you would have to worry about, because when he's got his Mars clothes in the fucking still in the house years after she's died, and the way he speaks about it and all that, you could tell that wasn't a well man. And he should have
been me proper eggy vibes
with the amount of allegations
around
him, he should have been given a lot more fucking pressure to answer the questions he had to ultimately face before he was given a state funeral and buried. Yeah. And everybody, Sir Jimmy for Savile. I know they've now but it's what did he call it? Posthumously? Posthumously, where he's died basically. Now they've taken his gravestone down and all that. Yeah. But people forget he was given a state funeral.
Yeah.
And obviously our Prime Minister now was the Director of Public Prosecutions at the time and decided not to chase him down. Now, knowing what you know now, the allegations we know, how was that man allowed to die without facing justice? The only reason being
Blackmail.
is he would take other people down with him.
He knew.
All right, so he knows
something.
where the bodies are built and bodies are buried.
Are.
And knowing him, I would imagine he's that much of an evil man that he has definitely done that. Now, obviously, we're thinking Epstein on a British scale, probably reaching into governments, probably reaching into the police, probably reaching into...
he was the higher echelons of society. He was rubbing shoulders with the Queen and shit.
So we know then that, people at the BBC, they're compromised. So now at this point, and the BBC does put out some good programme and there is some good stuff, but at some point, you can see why when the BBC are allowing Bob Villan to come off the stage and be patted on the back and blow smoke up his ass about chanting for people to be killed on the national broadcaster. Like, we know there's a fucking huge ideological problem with it. We know it's not politically impartial anymore. So it needs to be wound back so that people can get trust and belief back in it, because it's ultimately the state broadcaster, or completely disbanded and nobody has to pay fucking TV license and go, we're not paying to have the state politicise our media and our news. Because since COVID, I've seen nothing but use lie to us and fucking gaslight us about what's going on in the country, to the point where we are now watching the news, certainly the BBC news, and you're looking at Question Time. The amount of times people from the incoming government are asking questions to politicians. Like there's loads of clips come out about Jess Phillips asking questions to people on Question Time. So the BBC are putting plants in the audience because they're pushing this certain ideological fucking programming at us. And the people of the country have had enough of it. And when they have enough of it, they report far-right extremists and X, Y, and Z. And then when the left go fucking berserk, absolutely nothing. When Bob Villan, chants death to the IDF on the biggest programme, surely everybody who watches the BBC watches it for Glastonbury. That must be one of the biggest fucking...
Yeah.
Along with the Olympics and fucking... Maybe one day it used to be the FA Cup final, but that's got to be one of the biggest weekends of people watching the BBC. And on that weekend, you're putting and praising somebody who's actually calling for the death of another person, and he's being celebrated for it. So we know it's flawed like that. And for this cunt to come out and say, "I'm only saying it because I'm black," well, it's like, no, you're being a cunt because you're clearly using your platform to fucking make noise about what you're making noise about, not for any other reason. No one spoke about any of your songs being any good.
Yeah. No one...
Has anyone even... I haven't even heard a song from this man.
Is he a song? He's not a singer, isn't he? A poet?
Is he not a rapper?
I don't know what he is.
He's what you would call a complete and utter DEI nonsense pottery character. NPC. A DEI NPC. That's what he is.
NPC,
full of shit.
Nonsense pottery character.
Nonsense pottery character.
I like that.
That's what they are. And again, for him to come out and he's like, I'm born here and there's nothing. And it's like, yeah, well, you're born here, but you hate this country. What are you on about?
He was chatting. You want
and look
back, fuck off.
You're doing unbelievable. Like, you could use your platform for anything. You shit at music because no one's talking about your music. They're talking about you saying other people should be killed.
Yeah.
Like, you're a creative person who's talking about getting people killed. Like, that doesn't align to me, but don't creative people create? Like,
yeah,
like he's a fucking...
He is, you're right.
He's a walking oxymoron.
He's
and then
a character.
He's walking around saying it's because I'm black, because I is black. The black fatigue, Bob, you've got no chance of getting that to wash anymore. Yeah. That fucking horse has bolted. You've absolutely missed the boat on that. You're fucking 4 years, 2 years, 3 years, whatever you want to call it, too late to the party. It's not because you're black, it's because you're an absolute ball bag. That's the reason people don't like you. You're a ball bag. Anyway, he's had enough of me time. But Louis Theroux, fucking gets on. I see him grueling and getting after HS Tiki and his ma, asking him all and asking people on the right quite tough and direct questions. As soon as it's someone on the left, I just got a tip. You don't want to really hurt his feelings. I'm going, he's a nonce, Jimmy Savile. Don't worry about that fucking sex offender's feelings. Make sure you kick him right in the balls. And he could have had on record. Imagine putting it to Jimmy Savile. Hey, Jim, I've heard you're a nonce. No matter what he says. And there was enough ammunition there to fucking spear him.
Yeah, there was. Well, he knew that's why he's done the interview. He knew what he was, but didn't want to...
Why let him off?
That's what I mean. He done it because he knew what he was.
Why
but
let him off?
He did let him off with it. You're right.
But again, I have to put it down to, cowardly.
I think it's weak. I think it's weakness.
Cowardly.
Yeah, I think it's weakness in him. But
I don't know whether you've seen
quite
this.
like Louis too as well.
We've had another issue in the women's boxing where the Taiwanese 6-time champion has obviously won in the final in 94 seconds, has returned to the ring after using a loophole to fight despite new boxing sex tests. So he's obviously a dude who's saying he's a woman.
So he found a loophole that
and
I'm
you can
getting
see when I watched the fight. I actually watched the fight. You can just see it's just a complete mismatch from a physical standpoint. Just getting lashed everywhere. And it's 60 kilogram division, so they obviously weigh 60 kilogram, but a man weighing 60 kilogram and a woman weighing 60 kilogram. It's just a complete. And what are we going to have to? What's going to have to happen here? Are we going to have to wait for a young boxing female to be killed before we go? Yeah, you know what? It was absurd. Like, what are we waiting for? Is that what's going to have to take? Is someone's daughter going to have to be killed for this fucking lunacy to stop?
I honestly don't think some of them would stop at that point either. I think that we seen last week. Was it on Piers Morgan? The fucking liberal weirdo come on saying, and someone asked him, so what's your opinion? He wanted all genders like disbanded in sports.
That Polanski, the fucking...
No, it wasn't him. It wasn't him. It was someone else. Blonde-haired weirdo.
Lunatic.
And he said he wanted all genders disbanded in sports. And someone put him, well, what about... You want all genders disbanded?
Paralympics and Olympics.
Do you approve for Paralympics and Olympics to be merged into one? Then he went, oh yeah, it's an idea. I'll have to look into that. So this is how fucking stupid they are.
It is a true mind parasite. It actually warps the thinking, because you know that if you actually got them to just step that out and walk them through it, they would see the lunacy of the position.
Yeah, they would.
But it's a distortion of reality, in my opinion, and it's the reason that we have so many problems. Anyway, we have another distortion of reality. I don't know whether you've seen this during the week. Jolien Lescott's been put, no really like Jolien, Klingon FOD, skid mark FOD. I know I don't want to take your skid mark because he's after patenting the skid mark, but skid mark FOD has been called out for his Microsoft Paint hair. I don't know whether you've seen his. He's been busting this candy floss, this licorice candy floss head, like a licorice candy floss he's been putting on the front. I didn't know. I thought it was pink, the old candy floss.
That looks. I don't know what that is, but that's like.
So he must just be in that machine like that, going.
Oh God, yeah,
round, whipping it on. You have to whip it around the candy floss, don't you?
You just put him in and just spins.
He just spins. It goes round his head. Anyway, just fucking have your normal hair. Might as well wear a wig. I thought people got out of wearing wigs.
Is it a wig?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
But the wig technology
looks like it's made out of Lego.
The three-legged jig technology has moved on leaps and bounds. I've seen people, and I won't name names because they are out there. There's people I know got like a fucking iron filings. Their head must turn into a magnet, and they put all these iron filings on. You must have had to go with them iron filings.
Years ago, I had to go with the iron filings. Yeah, of course you did. Everyone did years ago.
Iron filings. Lad, they got powder on. No, I know. Yeah, but I'm saying but also, lad, come on. You can't invent. If half of your fringe is missing.
When you get to the point, it's like you're done, and you kind of know that point.
If half of your fringe, and I knew that point. If half of your fringe is missing, you can't just go. I was going to put it there.
Draw it on.
I'm going to fucking draw that bit on there. Well, like I'm saying, so Elton John and all that wig. Like if you wear a wig, no problem at all. But you can't expect when you go on the telly and you're wearing a Hey Bob Baluba, She's Me Baby on the front of your head, that you're not going to get fucking heat online for it. Whether you've been in a car crash as a kid or not.
He knew that.
It's in the Daily Mail, like.
He knew he was going to get shifted.
Some of the shouts I seen, it was nice of Mikel Arteta to loan his hair out to Lescott. It's a good one. Oh God, actually, you got to enjoy that. Like, I mean, the stick is the stick. In other football news, it says, and I don't like this headline because it's obviously the media leading. Yeah. Bitter John Terry says he finds it difficult to fathom why nobody will employ him as a manager while old teammates get their chance.
Has he got a point, or is it, do you reckon his history's catching over him a little bit with over this putting his dick where he wants kind of thing?
Well, yeah, like,
I don't know.
I don't know. I can't see how that's got anything to do with anybody, really, because, like, is he the first man to have committed adultery?
No, that's what I mean. Right. I can't. Me personally, I don't think that should hinder his chances, but it looks like it is.
Well, Rupert Lowe's tweeted it this week about,
he's tweeted loads about
the
it.
FA
He's been really good about
it. Just picking only certain candidates need apply. Basically, if you're white, don't apply.
No, that's not even that's basically used. He put on. I've seen the application. He's tweeted loads about the law firm, but you see, there was a woman in the comments who I've seen loads of. She does me fucking head in, and she said positive discrimination is necessary in Britain. It's like basically saying positive discrimination is a fancy word for racism for black people and white. So she's basically coming out and saying no, racism is necessary in Britain.
Do you know what I mean?
How can you even?
Well, we're in the Life of Brian territory. Yeah. No, it is necessary. We can use racism. We need it. Yeah. But you don't. But we're having it.
You can't even say it. Anyway, we can systemically implement it in society, but you can't say it.
Well, the fuck now, because everyone's on them.
Yeah,
and more people are getting on them every single day because you see the two-tier justice system and they see the injustice in society and they're going, no, fuck you. Sweden this week, another country that suffered, in my opinion, from suicidal empathy, the importation of people who aren't culturally aligned with their country. A 16-year-old mayor from Sweden, she was attacked and raped on her way home by an Eritrean man, Yazid Mohammed. All right? Mm-hmm. She had to see the rapist again at school. Why? He will not be deported because, wait for it, the rape didn't last long enough.
Oh my God. Is this like VAR where you're like, he's not pulling him for long enough, so it's not a penalty? Who's the judge here? Who's making these rules up? Who's saying it's not long enough? What consists of length of time?
In my world, I'm like...
If I stick it in someone, that's sex. I mean, you don't need to go the full shebang and have an orgasm and all that to constitute it. You've just put it. It's sex. There's no time constraints.
Yeah, but what long? What's the length required? You go. Sorry,
I
mate.
bet they're only small on these Asian fellas.
Hey, back to the here now. You've just gone over the 3-minute mark there. Back on your dinghy. Yeah. You're going. Sorry, I'd have known that I got off at 2:45. Well, no, sorry, mate, you're over the 3-minute mark there.
Life for Brian territory again,
it's
innit?
Nuts. It's fucking insanity. But also, these are countries that people go, you know what, the standard of living there, and these are very liberal, and that's maybe the way we should structure our society because these Scandies, they're quite, open in terms of taking refugees in and all that. Well, clearly they've fucking lost their minds as well. And as I say, in England, this is just some stats I got. 1.9 million foreign nationals are claiming benefits in England. 1.9 million, all right? Which is a 42% increase since 2022.
42% in 3 years?
If this continues, you'll be working to support foreigners pretty much, which is an unsustainable... So we've got 1.9 million people claiming benefits in Britain, all right? Foreign nationals, not British people.
Wow.
Foreign nationals. And that is a 42% increase in 2 years or 2.5 years from 2002. So if we keep increasing at that level, what's going to happen is that's just going to keep compounding. And we're already on the precipice anyway from a financial standpoint based on the debt and the service.
We're close to
100%. This is why I keep talking about this suicidal empathy. The whole boat is going to sink. So in your midst of, but look at that person there who can't eat food or is in that war. So, no problem. But if you keep putting them on this boat is going down. You're going to kill everybody on this boat because we are going to go under because we cannot service our debt. Debt and interest on the debt is at a record high. Energy, record, everything's record high. Foreign nationals claiming benefits, record high. Immigrants in hotels, record high. Illegal invaders coming year on year, record high. At what point is this going to stop? They're saying 1 in, 1 out. It's like, what are you on about? 1 in, 1 out.
Did you hear that 1 in, 1 out last week?
1 in, 1 out, gets to France, turns around, comes back.
Fucking nuts. Absolute nuts. But it's that old, the meme I tweeted ages ago, where you got the foreigner stabbing the English fella, and the English fella saying, well, at least not racist. That sums it up.
But again, this is what I said, the Rupert Lowe stuff before. This anti-white racism, right? Which is who it is. But from the FA's perspective, guess who's putting this out this time?
Come on,
kick it out. The football's leading anti-racist campaigners, this discrimination campaigners. That's
discrimination campaigners
because
are discriminating.
FIFA and UEFA FA coaching courses all can apply apart from white men. The scheme is offered alongside McDonald's Fun for Football. Not that fun for the white lads, is it? You should be ashamed of yourselves. Kick it out, and you should. So discrimination is fine when it's white men on the ballot that you can discriminate against, when it's white people you can discriminate against. But any other kind of discrimination, don't say anything about that bearded lady there who's 6'9" using the fucking female toilet, because you might hurt his feelings. Her feelings. Don't say anything about Melinda there, whose fucking name used to be Mark from our school, who's lost the fucking plot, has got a tutu on. Yeah, don't fucking hurt his feelings. But any of the white fellas, yeah, sorry, you can't apply for that job. Why? Because you're white.
Bottom line of it.
So we're now in the Rosa Parks territory of you can't use that seat on the bus because you're black. And it's like, no, get fucked.
But the thing is, when you say this, you try and speak to people and they go, oh, we know it's about quotas and like they are misrepresented. And you go, and you come at them with facts. Go, no, actually, listen, in that industry, 18% of people are black. The country's 6% black. So they're not misrepresented. They are actually overrepresented in that certain industry.
But this is the thing that you so you go, okay, so they're saying here, you'd have a better chance at getting this job from the kick it out in the FA coaching course and the UEFA coaching course if you said you was a woman. So if you're a white male, you can't get the job. Yeah. But if you're a white male who says, I'm transitioning, I'm now a white woman. You got a better chance. And you're transitioning, you've got a much better chance of getting the grants and the access. Okay, so it's woke bingo here. So what happens if I say, hey, not only am I'm a white woman, Josephino's saying the back up, I'm not from Trinidad and Tobago, I'm identifying as a black woman from Trinidad and Tobago.
You got the job.
I mean, got fucking double funding, weighed in. It's the lunacy of the fucking world we are living in at this moment.
We've got to touch on this before we finish, though.
I need to finish on this because a great man once said, I look to the day when people will not be judged by the colour of their skin, but by the content of their character.
Keir Starmer. Charlie Kirk.
No, Martin Luther King. Kid Mark's going to Keir Starmer and fucking...
I was just reading Keir Starmer on my screen.
Black Lives Matter month, sorry, Black History month.
I was reading Keir Starmer.
And you're fucking saying...
But we've got to touch on Starmer here, on these digital IDs, because this has wound me up a treat the past 2 days.
Go on, what have you got for me?
Okay, so Keir Starmer now has come out and he said about digital IDs yesterday, because he's, you know what he's like with this nonsense. He says digital IDs is not mandatory. It's not mandatory.
Did he say it was the other day? You wouldn't get a job if you didn't have it?
It's not mandatory, but you need it if you want to get a mortgage, you want to rent a property, you want to put your kids in school, you want to work, you need digital ID. So basically...
So if you want to take a breath in and a breath out, you need digital ID.
You need digital ID.
Right. But you don't need it.
But you don't need it. It's not mandatory. You don't need it. But and if you haven't got it, if you haven't got a phone, which is 2.7 million people in the UK, by the way, who don't have a phone, it's a smartphone. If you haven't got a smartphone, every time you need your digital ID, you can pay £85 to get your ID checked. £85. So you won't do anything. You will need you have to pay £85. So we said, so it's better if you just get a phone, isn't it? This is what he said.
Is this happening? Or is this...
This is what Keir Starmer is trying to implement on the country. He's still got to pass a vote, hasn't he?
Well, listen, we're not listening to him because they also... The gaslighting is to insane numbers. So the demographics of the small boat crossers since 2018, all right? Since 2018, 147,568 people have come across in small boats to this country, all right? How many of them are men and how many are women?
Percentage-wise?
I've read this, isn't it like 70-something% of men?
88% of them are male.
I thought it got higher than when I last read it.
12%. So this argument of women fleeing war zones and all that, 12% of them are women, right?
It's nuts.
So it's 88% male. Now that demographic breaks down of there's 17 and under since 2018. 19,100 males have come here. 5,000 females, all right? 18 to 24, 47,400 18 to 24, so what you would call military age males, and 25 to 39. So from 18 to 39, you've got basically 46,400 and 55,000. So you've basically got 100,000 military age males coming into the country. And at the same time frame, you've got 3,000 and 7,000 females. So you've got 10 times the amount of military age males coming here since 2018. And if you complain about this, you are considered an extremist on the far right who's concerned about it. We've got 37% of the total numbers. So it's 37 and 31%. which is 68% of all migrants coming here from 2018 are between 18 and 39 and male, which is what people are saying. Military-age men coming here.
On their own, though.
Illegally.
Yeah. No,
coming here and throwing the passports away. So I'm saying, how many of them, clearly we know there's a few of them that have done stuff, because we're aware of it and becoming more aware of it daily.
Every day, yeah.
How many more of them are laying in wait? How many more of them are bomb makers who've been released or have been involved in the army on one side or another side of an atrocity? How many more of them are going to be actual Rabjacanas fucking when they have kids, and they have kids here that are going to be terror cells and dangers, as we're seeing 75% of a certain religion are on MI5's terrorist watch list. And also when you look at, I'm going to get to this now because it does tie in exactly with what I'm saying. Rabjacana, okay, our mate who's fucking gone into the hotels in Southport. I'm going to have to come out of this. Who's gone into the hotels in, the kids thing in Southport. Yeah. The teacher who tried to raise the alarm about him in Southport was criticised by the board or whatever it is for calling him sinister and for racially profiling him as a teenager because she said he's a black boy with a knife. This is what happens when we worry more about offending with words rather than pointing out the bloody obvious. So a teacher was trying to raise awareness about Axel and his lurch towards violence and walking around with a knife. And because of the words she's put in the reports, they were more worried about her words and whether she was a racist or not than actually the fella who went on to kill 3 kids and attempt to decapitate many more of them.
And it could have saved their lives. And
no wonder, so they're saying he was a mentally dysfunctional child with culturally incongruent parents who turned into a cold-blooded killer. Teachers who tried to raise the alarm were silenced. No wonder Starmer wants to blame the far right for the subsequent riots.
Yeah.
Fucking disgusting, honestly. It makes me feel sick.
But imagine that was your daughter.
Imagine your daughter died and you're reading that. When you know that not that wokeness has killed your kid, that killed your daughter.
But not just that. I don't know whether you've seen the Mirror put an article in a petition for women-only tube carriages amid growing issue. Nears 10,000 signatures. So they had an e-petition. So the Mirror have raised a campaign basically saying women were getting leered at or looking over the shoulder from men on the tube. So can they have a women-only carriage? Now the problem is the Sannies are going to be in there. So they're going to be in there going, nah then, I'm in here. But also the picture was a black woman looking over the phone and a white fella in a suit. You'll see the clip looking over the shoulder. That was the picture they put out. And then you had...
There was comments
basically then you had a young lad stabbed in Sheffield High School. Remember the 15-year-old stabbed with the zombie knife, the knife by his mate who turns out to be... He's not a Turkish kid, actually. Mohammed Umar Khan. So obviously a good Sheffield name there. And anyway, the picture the BBC use, they don't put the picture of the boy up. And it says, life sentence for boy who killed Harvey Wilgoose. Well, that's Harvey Wilgoose.
Yeah.
So why have you not used the picture of Mohammed
the one who's got the life
Umar
sentence?
Khan? Like, what the fuck? So when you go, why can't you just tell the truth? Is the problem that bad? Clearly it must be. That you can't just tell us the truth. That you can't come out and say, listen, we have a problem here with a radical religious fucking aspect who are doing mad stuff in the name of this 7th century fucking warlord. We have a mad problem here in terms of 75% of them who've been butting the floor 5 times a day are also going on to fucking blow bombs up in fucking kids' fucking music concerts or try and kill kids in the concerts. And if we talk about it, sorry, they don't feel safe there, give them some extra money for security because we need their vote fucking kid. It's fucking lunacy. How long can you carry on without expecting a reaction? So, you know, the Gareth Ike stuff where he said problem, reaction, solution. I'm going, if the BBC, like, are praising somebody coming off the stage, a brown person coming off the stage at the biggest music festival in this country that's shared all across the world, calling for the death of white people or a certain section of people, white people, religious, you know, calling for a religious extermination of a group of people. And it's being praised and he's been patted on the back coming off the stage. And yet this is completely government funded. And the people who heard them say it are outraged. And yet the people who are paying for it to happen can't do anything about it because these people have got in power and they're going, no, it's the BBC, we do what we want. And then what they do is they report the news from their perspective, how they want it. So they'll say, no, only 100,000 turned up for that United Kingdom match. But there was thousands and thousands of protesters here against it. And you're like, no, that's not reality. Yeah. And also, here's young Harvey Wilgoose here, whose life's been cut short, even though it's him. So why is there no picture of his killer? Why is there no picture of the person who killed him? If you're going to put his picture there,
get the caption right. The caption, the picture. I mean, you're going to say, you're going to mention about Harvey Wilgoose and his life, but then if you're going to mention the murderer, put the murderer's picture. We know why they're doing it. We keep getting this.
Well, also, there's also been a thing, so the judiciary have to answer questions because there's a Syrian migrant who had the receding hairline and had grey hair, wins a case against the council because the council was saying, listen, he's not under 16, and he was saying, I am under 16, even though he had the receding hairline and grey hair. The council decided he wasn't, he clearly weren't. He's obviously lost his passport in the thingo and he's at the bollocks. And he's challenged it. So he's obviously got legal aid to challenge it, got legal aid for the translator, and they've ruled in his favour that, how do you know how old he is? They're going, well, he's got a receding hairline and grey hair, so we know he's over 16. Like, no, you can't make that. So he's won an appeal using our fingo for it. It's like, what's going on?
Again.
It's like, where is common sense in all of this? So I've got a couple of things I want to finish on, sporting things. Has anyone seen the FBI have arrested 30 people from the NBA?
I've seen it.
Saying that the games have been fixed and point shaving.
Terry Rosie, yeah.
We just about this last
How
week.
stupid can you be? He told people to bet on him all the same day, and he said he was going to basically bet on his under.
Yeah.
So they do under and over there, don't they? Yeah. They've bet on his under, and he left the game after 9 minutes. He was telling people to bet like 200 grand on him or something mad, and he got the cash dropped off to his house. Like, how stupid can you be? Do you know how much he's getting a game? Per game, over an 80 game season. 300 grand a game. And he's still making money off people betting on him. Like, he's getting weighed in for that.
300 grand a game.
You get 300 grand a game, but he apparently he was getting like 200 grand.
You don't know how much debt he's got into. Someone's got hold of him there, and he's obviously got a gambling or some kind of problem and just gone, or he's just greedy, just screwing him. But it looks like the integrity of that competition, and they reckon that Trump's coming for the NBA and the WNBA. Like, they see it as some kind of attack from Trump. Loads going on in American politics at the minute. We've got enough problems without getting into it. I was going to say that. I just want to think of that. When we're talking about the Muslim population, right, just think about this logically. 1 in every 100 Muslims that are in this country, 1 in every for every 100 that is on the terrorism watch list.
What's the maths there?
1 in every 100.
That's 1%, isn't it?
So how many are here?
Well, the Muslims, the Muslim population is what?
It's only come from Rafi May now. That's a stat I got to admit. 1 in 100 Muslims in this country are on the terrorist watch list.
And if that's from Rafi, I'm sure that's researched.
Oh yeah, it will be. Yeah, from
that's
but I don't know
another thing we see before we
6% of Muslims in the country. So what's that? 6% of 60 million or something? 70 million.
Before we check out of here, another thing I seen this week was David Davis. I don't know whether you know David Davis is. He used to be an MP, but he's come out this week and basically said, I don't know why Starmer's pushing this digital ID thing.
Seen this, yeah.
Because he's gone on a whim and said, we're going to introduce it, 85 quid now, it's not going to be mandatory. And then all of the tests that have been done on it, all your digital ID ends up basically getting outsourced to this Romanian company that they've already hacked and tested and all that. And they're like, look, within a short space of time, we've already ran trials on this and there's no security on it. So any foreign agent with any decent level of spyware or malware will be able to break down this system and basically have all of your information at hand. So if we do buy, like, the technology's just not there, it's a massive risk to fucking... Now, I'm not looking at it going, well, if he's already down the track of pushing us into the Chinese hands, Starmer, and that's where he wants to go with it, then it would make sense that he wants to roll this out and have everybody's data compromised, because that's the socialist fucking utopia he's looking for, with the digital credit score and central bank currency and all that further down the line. So I've seen Davis taking him on. So there's clearly some pushback and people who aren't having this at all. So I think we've got a long fight ahead of us over the next few years to try and oppose this, obviously, digital ID, which will lead to probably a digital currency.
It'll lead to digital currency, at least with digital well, because we've seen Rachel Reeves today as well, that she's potentially going to put, this is nuts by the way, she's potentially going to put a cost per mile on everyone driving in the UK.
It's just insane.
A cost per mile. So you're going to get charged per mile.
Right.
So,
Yeah,
right,
it's
we've got to wrap it up because we're running out of
Anyway, there's loads
it's been a
more
long
to
one.
talk about. We'll be back. Are we back Monday?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought there's no game, but
There's a
we'll
League
be
One
live.
game, so maybe we'll do a League One game.
But I'm sure there'll be loads to speak about. This weekend's going to be fucking nuts.
Yeah, this weekend's going to be
Yeah, I'll
wild.
just have it level. There is a League One game. Let me just check on that. I did see a League One game there. Yeah, we've got Port Vale against Stockport.
We'll have it on anyway.
We'll have it on.
All right, thanks for joining us. Enjoy your weekend, as I say. Bet responsibly. Keep your ears
When
pricked.
the fun stop.
Make sure you're out there policing the nonsense potters. Any bollocks are them, make sure you fucking crack down on them. We can't give them an inch. Otherwise, as we've seen, they will take the proverbial mile.
Yeah.
Good luck. Keep it clean. See you soon.